Okay, this was insane. What we just witnessed at Martinsville Speedway might be the most exciting moment in NASCAR history, but this could also not happen again. The wall riding pass by Ross Chastain was considered so epic that even it was played in between the NFL's prime time. But the question has risen why it was embarrassing and NASCAR should ban wall riding. So hello NASCARians, and welcome back to NASCAR Zone. We explain how Ross Chastain has broken the NASCAR rule and why NASCAR must ban wall riding. But before we begin, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. On Sunday, Ross Chastain completed the most exciting pass that anyone has accomplished at the corkscrew since Alex Zanardi's famous move there. At Martinsville, Chastain kept his foot down and slammed into the outside wall to make up 4 places, despite the fact that he needed 2 spots in one corner to advance and have a chance at winning a championship. It was electrifying, the best and most memorable moment in a NASCAR race in recent years, and it was so memorable that it was played to American viewers in between halves of the NFL's primetime Sunday matchups. Additionally, it opened a can of worms that will be difficult to shut down again once it has been opened. Anyone who has ever played a racing video game can confirm the fact that the idea of riding the wall is not a recent invention. There have been a few instances in the history of NASCAR races where it has been attempted, the most notable of which was when Carl Edwards tried it at Kansas in 2008, and when Kyle Larson attempted the same thing in Darlington in 2017. The most significant distinction lies in the fact that the move was unsuccessful in both instances. At the time, it appeared as though the laws of physics that were being applied in a real wall ride situation did not work out to the driver's advantage. Do you recall any of the similar incidents that took place other than these? Let us know in the comments section below, and do subscribe to our channel for future updates. The move that Chastain made, on the other hand, was successful beyond anyone's wildest expectations. He may have been successful in destroying the right side of his car, but simply by riding the wall in those final 2 corners. He was able to set a lap time of 18.8, which was a full second faster than the pole time for the weekend and approximately 2 seconds faster than the race pace from the lap before. That indicates there is something within these walls. What exactly worked is not completely clear at this point. Is it the squared-off corners of Martinsville? Is it the stark contrast between speeds on the apex of corners and those on the straightaways of faster tracks? Does the design of the next-gen car change the way the game is played with regard to moves like these? This is the question that the teams have 1 week to respond to. Teams are now able to analyze the move because it was captured on video. They will also be able to examine data pertaining to the throttle, steering, and GPS tracking, which will provide every team on the grid with the resources necessary to determine precisely what Chastain did. Finding those unfair advantages, or the things that give a driver or team a significant and repeatable boost, is a significant part of auto racing. Because Chastain's move was so successful, wall riding has suddenly gone from being every driver's favorite, widely discredited desperation play to something that must be taken into consideration moving forward. If a team can figure out what exactly went right here, then the reasonable end is that they would have to do it at the end of every single race where it could apply. Otherwise, they run the risk of losing as many positions as Chastain gained today on each and every final lap. Wall rides are not always going to be possible. The much smaller difference in speed between corner speeds and straightaway speeds should render the benefit irrelevant at most larger tracks with more banking. There are certain types of racetracks, such as superspeedways and road courses, that do not make sense for the move. But there are some courses where it will be worthwhile to give it a shot. And the most important thing to remember is that the season will end at one of those courses next weekend. Because of this, NASCAR is placed in a precarious position, one about which they are unlikely to take any action for the foreseeable future. It will be imperative for the 4 teams in the Championship 4 to figure out how to replicate the wall ride at Phoenix if the race is going to be close. One of these teams is Chastain's Trackhouse Racing, and they will have complete access to the vehicle that successfully completed the task, as well as the most comprehensive data set that is currently available. In order to analyze what went well and what aspects could be improved. The magical moment could quickly turn bad, as many cars crash on purpose on the last lap to keep up with what may have become NASCAR's newest metagame just 1 week later. Because of this, NASCAR should get involved during the off-season. Since it is now public knowledge that this is a possibility, one of the competing teams will, at some point in the future, figure out a way to gain a consistent advantage in every situation where it is applicable. When that actually occurs, and when teams establish a list of tracks where the strategy works, it will slowly go from being a late race desperation option to a field-wide must-have. Moments that were once among the all-time highlights will turn into frustrating routines, and new strategies will emerge to block the move. Millions of dollars will be wasted on repairs from what is effectively mandatory crashing. Do you also think it's better to ban wall riding, considering the previously mentioned reasons? Let us know in the comments section below, and do subscribe to our channel for future updates. Writing this specific rule will be challenging, especially considering NASCAR's checkered past when it came to officiating its own rulebook. However, existing throttle and steering traces will enable the series to judge intent and hand out penalties after the race. Any rule that is established will need to take this into consideration, and drivers will be subject to penalties if they demonstrate an abnormal split from the way they normally run a corner in order to bring the wall into play. It's another can of worms that no team wants to open, but there are already similar rules for track limits that are enforced at both pack racing superspeedways and road courses. Nevertheless, any rule that prohibits the move ought to be accompanied by another provision. Chastain's moment on Sunday was truly remarkable and ranks among the very best in the annals of NASCAR history. As a result, any subsequent events should take care not only to avoid discrediting it, but also to celebrate it. The rule should be viewed as a celebration of something that was so successful that it had to be banned, similar to the way that Formula One rules prohibiting ground effects or blown diffusers should be viewed. The track itself could take it a step further and immortalize Chastain's move by erecting a statue or some other kind of permanent fixture. This is a momentous occasion in the history of stock car racing, and it is deserving of celebration, even if it does call for new regulations to be implemented by the series itself. After all, this is the kind of competitiveness that defines auto racing. A significant portion of the competition consists of gaining an advantage over one's rivals by acquiring information first and then capitalizing on it while the opportunity still exists. The sport will then react by either regulating it out of existence before it completely takes over, or embracing it going forward as an essential component of a series. Wall riding should be considered part of the first category, and Chastain's move should be regarded as the sport's all-time greatest example of it. Who do you think? If NASCAR bans wall riding, will NASCAR fans accept it? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more of our incredible videos. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.